We get to share what we did, how we lived, and our challenges and joys in living.
At the Chinatown Storytelling Center, visitor Elwin Shia says he can relate to the new exhibit, Raised in Chinatown. He's thinking about his own experience as he looks at the images of Vancouver's Chinese-Canadian youth culture between 1910 and the 1960s.
So important to be able to tell our story, how we lived, what we did, rather than having constantly hearing about what people did to us.
Shia says he enjoys learning about first-generation Chinese Canadians like him, creating their own identity, despite the racism some experienced living in Chinatown.
I think what it shows is that, while there's a lot of discrimination, and during the 1910s to the 1960s, the parents were working very hard, but the children, were the ones that were, on the streets playing.
Carol Lee from the Vancouver Chinatown Foundation says it's important to share these stories.
They were the ones who actually came up with the phrase Chinese Canadian and what it meant to be, to belong. And so these young, courageous young people decided that they were going to join clubs and athletic pursuits and all sorts of things so that they could feel that they are part of the Canadian mosaic.
The exhibit shows old photos and videos of Chinese Canadians playing sports and being part of teams like tennis, soccer, and basketball. This is the uniform worn by the Vancouver Chinese Community Drill Team, which danced at various events around the city 63 years ago. The team had over 50 members, led by Donna Chan, who was the captain of the team, and they won this trophy. The exhibit was put together by 19 second-year students from the Langara Design Formation Program.
Our students were charged with, given that they are also of that same age range of what the content was speaking of, but albeit in a much earlier generation, and how they would have potentially navigated being young people in Chinatown.
Work, and mostly work and not too much play.
Shia grew up working for his family's laundry business on Union Street, and he remembers what life was like living in Chinatown in the 1960s and 70s.
We didn't have the opportunity to join the Scouts or join clubs or have a lot of fun, so a lot of my childhood was spent working. That's where I kind of learned the work ethic, and perhaps you could say that we kind of grew up before we should have.
If you want to learn more about Vancouver's Chinese-Canadian history, come down to the Chinatown Storytelling Center. The exhibit is on until June 15th. In Vancouver, Angela Bauer, City News.